Welcome to Together Unprocessed, where 5 friends from across the world share real conversations about food, healing, and life. Let's get started. Today, we're going to talk about something that I think is everybody will be able to relate to. You'll probably learn some stuff in what we're going to be talking about today, and that's what it's all about. And you know what? We're going to bring it to you. You're going to get the raw and the truth and the honesty from each of us, which is the only way we want to come at you in our podcast. And it's without guilt or shame. And we want you guys to feel the same, because it happens to all of us. I don't care who you are. It happens to all of us. So what we're talking about today is after Christmas. We already talked about surviving Christmas. Now we're going to talk about how it went, what went right, what didn't go so the way we wanted it to, and where we go from here. So to start off, I'm going to ask each of you a question, and I'll let you answer. How did it go over Christmas? How was your mindset? Were you able to stick to your plan, what you're going to eat, and what were your routines that helped you out or maybe didn't help you out? So we'll start with Cindy. Go ahead.
Oh no. It started out off the rails, so I'm not sure where that begins. But seriously, I was really going in without being so rigid, because I feel like if I go in with a lot of rules for myself, it just doesn't work very well. And it was a good thing, because a few days before Christmas, I learned that my mentor, John Barnes, passed away. And that was really huge for me. So that took me into sort of a deeper emotional grieving state. And within the very next day I found that out, we had some trouble with our very dear, one of our oldest cats that we have. She's not our oldest cat, but that we had the longest, and had to take her in the middle of the night to an emergency vet, and then didn't come home with her. It was just super tragic, like totally unexpected, a neurological thing. And then it was like one thing after another for the next 2 weeks. And there was a lot of stress, and you know, there was candy around a lot because I have 2 kids, and you know, I was aware of what I was doing, and sometimes I would have a bite of something, and I gave myself grace for that, because I knew exactly what was going to be happening with it metabolically, but it was okay. And then it was just like a string of events. So then Christmas Day, we spent 7 hours in the emergency vet again for another cat, the same that we got at the same time we had gotten that cat. So these are animals we've had since my kids were little, 14 years. And so it was just like one thing after another. Then a family member passed away, who was my ex-father-in-law, crazy. So to think that, I mean, it'd be great. Like, there are people out there who can stay totally on task in a situation like that. I'm not one of them, and I'm okay with that. And did I feel it? Yeah, sometimes I did. I had a little bit of alcohol as well, but I didn't get toasted. I didn't like totally binge out on candy or anything or treats. So it was okay. But that's how it started and went through the whole holiday. We didn't even do Christmas until like the 30th. So
yeah. And I'm so sorry, with losing your friend, John Barnes and your cats. I mean, listen, we're all animal lovers. We get it. It's painful, and it's especially at a time that you're supposed to be celebrating and especially the year in the past, all the great things that are happening, and then you have this kind of stop you short. So, we all felt it.
Yeah, it's life, and so I just kept saying, still things, my motto, it could be worse, be grateful, right? So as painful as it is, I mean, there's always something to be grateful for. And that's where I was trying to be in, rather than, I mean, in years past, I would have really beat myself up for having, going off of my eating plan. And it's just not worth it to do that. Just coming to, having grace and love for myself, doing the best that I can, and trying to be an example for my kids. So yeah.
Absolutely. And that's what it, and Ashley, she preaches this all the time. And sometimes when we're on a conversation, she'll say, Kim, like, be kind to yourself, and you got to start there. And it's like I said, no guilt, no nothing. I mean, it happens, and we move forward. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And how do we do it? So thank you for that, Cindy. I mean, who wants to go? Ash, you want to go next?
I think I had a pretty similar Christmas to Cindy, with the amount of loss and everything in my life as well. I had said on the last episode with the struggles of Carnivore that surviving Christmas, that I was going to try and be strict. Did that happen? No, because we did go away. we went away on holiday this year, so we were staying in somebody else's house. Before I went away, though, I was in a car accident as well, and it was just a very stressful period up in the lead to Christmas with the amount of work that I was doing, and so I gave myself permission, like I did the previous year, to have a few things with my friends. I was really good. I was very proud of myself because I didn't overindulge. I sort of stuck to the eating plan, but I did have a few alcoholic drinks just occasionally when I felt, but I didn't go overboard. It was like one here and one there, and I had one or two ice creams as well, because those are, as I said previously, that's sort of was my thing. But other than that, it was like I said, right, I gave myself until it was just occasionally here and there. But then when I got to New Year's Day, like when we hit New Year's, I'm like, that's it. It was 12 o'clock going into the new year, not doing any more, and I've actually stuck to that. So I gave myself permission. I followed through, so I felt like I was in a better place compared to the previous year. So I was pretty proud of that. But did I beat myself up? No. Did I feel guilty? No, which is what I felt the previous year. So I think I survived it pretty well.
That's awesome. Yeah, and like between you and Sydney, oh my gosh, like, we were getting firsthand what was happening and all that kind of stuff. And, we were feeling it too. It's like, oh my gosh, like nobody should have to go through this. And again, like, are we carnivore or keto? Absolutely. But again, this is what this is all about. It happens. And we just want to bring it to you guys as, there's, stop beating yourself up. Don't feel guilty or whatever. Just move on. And that's what we're going to, or what I'm going to talk about when I come around. And anyways, I love you both very much. And I am so grateful you're here. I really am. And Hugo, what about you? Well, I think we know your answer already, Hugo. But we'll listen to you anyways, buddy.
Yeah, I have some interesting stuff too, I think.
Okay.
Maybe
you
not
do.
some in food-wise too, but we had a Carnivore Christmas party in Estonia, and it was in a really nice cozy farm. I think there were about 60 people there. Of course, not all of them carnivore.
Wow.
But maybe half of them. And
wow.
A lot of keto people, and that was surprising. Now the group has reached 2,000 members in Estonia, so I think that's
awesome.
Wow.
pretty. It's only been a year since it's been founded, right? So it's not that long. But there's surprisingly a lot of people in Estonia who are looking for answers, and and we just had that party, and that was amazing. We got to try. I think we had 9 courses. 9 courses.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow.
A lot of, it started off with the cold meat section. They called on cold appetizers, and they were I think it's smoked Iberica pork, some blood sausage, fully carnivore, made with salt only. Then we had all sorts of sausages, Italian ones, then like a grilled sausage, and just amazing how much variety. And the sausages were one of the best, I'd say. And the guy himself has been to Italy to learn these things, so he's eaten them raw. He's tried them all.
Really?
That's where he learned that craft, yeah. And he's doing the same in Estonia. So I think he's probably one of the few, or if not the only one, doing it in Estonia. So
Oh wow!
that's amazing. And he also can raise Iberica pork. He has a certificate for that. Only one in Estonia. So it is, the pork is just amazing. Yes. And, usually pork bothers me, but this pork doesn't really. And, plus we had ribs, slow cooked ribs. There was veal, but I'm not that big of a fan of that. But it was fine. Then what else? Ribs. Yeah, brisket, I think. Some kind of brisket. Let me think. Turkey. Whole turkey cooked. That thing was big. It's the biggest turkey I've seen, so.
Wow.
But it tasted
Was it
nice.
good?
Yeah. It was a bit dry, but to be honest, I can kind of forgive him for that, because if you're cooking the whole turkey, it's hard to evenly cook it, like some parts are going to be more moist, others are going to be dry. Of course, the breast region was dryish, but at least there was a lot of fat, so it wasn't bad. And there was carnivore dessert too. I think colostrum milk, right? And he baked a cake out of it, basically.
Oh wow!
Milk, yeah. And he apparently tried to perfect it many times. So, it came out pretty well. A little bit too much salt, but if there had been less salt, it would have been better. But it was still nice. And then he also made clotted cream, which is my favorite dessert in carnivore. Just it was quite similar to the thing I got in England. So he's probably learned it in England or somehow. But it was nice. Clotted cream. It is worth eating. So, and we just had a nice evening and with lots of great people, and just got to know more about ourselves. And maybe next time too. Next year, or actually this year, but we'll have it again at some point, maybe in the summer. But that's on the event side. But on the diet elsewise, not really not a lot has changed. I did try geese eggs. They're huge though.
Yeah.
It's like 3-5 times bigger than chicken eggs. Right? The yolks are just. Oh, they're nice.
Nice.
It's not. It's still an egg. It tastes like an egg, but it tastes like a nice egg. It has more flavor than regular chicken eggs. I'd say it's kind of like duck eggs. Duck eggs are very nice too. So tried those. And what else? I did butcher half a carcass of lamb though. In the meanwhile, which was quite nice. That
You
butchering
butchered?
experience. Yeah, half a carcass of a lamb. So it was about 14 kilos.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Took me about 2 hours, but it is actually nice to get that experience, closer to your food. And but on the downside, I'd say circadian rhythm. So these last 2 weeks, since I've been on vacation for 2 weeks and doing
Busy.
work stuff. Yeah.
Did you get any sleep, Hugo?
No, I did get sleep, but it's the timing, going on 2, 3, 5, 6 a.m. which is not good.
No.
And even though I slept 8-9 hours, it's not the same. But I didn't feel its effects until the past half week where I've been actually feeling kind of bad.
Sluggish.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
digestive issues too.
Oh, really?
I can't really handle the render fat. Where
Seriously.
even if it's unrendered, yeah.
I wonder
So
if that's associated to the stress of not getting the sleep, because Cindy always talks about the stress, and the more I've been going down that rabbit hole, people don't realize how much that affects us. Huge.
Yeah, I know circadian rhythm affects me, but it's. I think it's the accumulation of 2 weeks of.
2 weeks.
I don't think I even went to bed at 11 p.m. once. Not even 12 p.m. So.
Wow.
It really drifted, right? So, and I'm, from my experience, I'm very sensitive to it. So I have to. I'm trying to fix it right now. Today I woke up 7:40 a.m. That's that's quite a leap forward. When I usually wake up at 11, 12, 13. Military time. So it would be 11 a.m.
11 a.m. Yeah.
1 p.m.
Yeah.
So it was a big shift, but I think it's working. I just feel a bit off, overall right now. So.
But a lot of times when you and I are talking, and even before, throughout the year or whatever, it didn't matter when I text you. If I text you at I don't know, 4 p.m. my time, you were awake. You were answering me every single time. I don't think there's been a single time that I have sent you a message you have not answered me. You have always been awake. And it didn't matter if it was 8 a.m. or if it was, I've even sent you a message at 8 p.m. at night and you answered me. And that's what, 5 a.m. your time, something like that? You've always...
Okay.
So I don't think it's just this 2 weeks, Hugo.
It is a bit longer, but I tried. Yeah, I got it before I went on vacation. I had it more under control, it was better.
Yeah, control. Yeah.
But this is but I don't a lot of it. I don't regret because I got a lot of good work done in those hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not like I do regret it, but it's on the days where I could have gone earlier. That would have brought me back, but I didn't. So that's the only regret I have in that regard.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. And we're going to do an episode on circadian rhythm as well as sleep, because people don't realize it's so important. And like you just said, earlier too, and I don't want to get too much into it because we're on this, the Christmas thing, carnivore keto, but even if you sleep during the day and you get quality naps, it's not the same. It's not the same because it doesn't link up with your circadia. So we'll be doing an episode on that for sure.
Yeah, and it can be disruptive, right?
Absolutely.
If you nap for too long.
Yep.
It might it might delay when you get sleepy, the hormonal side of things, melatonin and all of that. So
yeah, exactly.
But it can be good. Sometimes those naps have been good, but it's just I don't trust them. So I don't.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's pretty much our podcast. Everybody have a great day, because we pretty much talked about everything. I'm kidding. Myself, actually, I did pretty well. I did have temptations, and did I cave to them? I absolutely did. And I don't feel guilty about it or anything, because I have learned in the 3 years of being carnivore is, what? Just like we were saying, is get back up on the wagon and go again. And I've been able to do that. And in the past, I really was getting depressed and stuff. It's now, what did I indulge in? I had some of my favorite, which was, what do they call it? Shortbread cookies. I tried a couple. And, I had I had a couple apples, stuff like that. But for the most part, I stayed on track. But I did. And I never lied that I didn't, because I did, because that's part of my life. And even I would, and I want to be carnivore the rest of my life. Am I going to be 100% carnivore for the rest of my life? Probably not. And I'm okay with that too, because I know how I feel when I'm on carnivore, and that will always be my compass. Always. like and I'm 63 and I'll probably live to be 103. So the next 40 years, that's how I'm living my life. So, I mean, we talked about staying on track, and, one of the things that, like falling off the rails and without shame and stuff like that is like, we each know how our body responded to that. And I'm not going to cover too much. One of the things that Cindy touched on, and I'm going to tell you why I went off the rails. And one of the things, was it intentional or was it unplanned? And it makes a difference between the two. Personally, myself, mine was unplanned. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you my whole thought process, which I got in my head. And then I just gave myself permission. And part of it was I started thinking about all these other influencers out there outside of Carnivore. And I started thinking about Dr. Boz, and I started thinking about Dr. Dominic D'Agostino, and I started thinking about Dr. Paul Saladino, and all these people that have these, like, they have millions and millions of followers of people that they're actually helping. And they have very similar stories that we have as carnivores. And I had this in my head, and I started thinking about it, and I was thinking, like, is an apple really bad to have? Like, why can't I have an apple when all these other people are making the same claims? Now, whether it's true or not, you know what? I can't tell you. But I can tell you I let it get in my head. And when it got in my head and I started letting it percolate in there, that's where I intentionally had an apple, or I intentionally had a cookie, or whatever. And it's because I let that get in my head. So I'm not sure about you guys. If it was intentional or unplanned, what do you guys say about that? That's what happened to me. I let it get in my head and it ruled it.
Well,
go ahead, Cindy.
Yeah, I would say the one thing I didn't mention, that during all of this that was going on, I also picked up a virus. And it was interesting because I think part of this was also emotionally based. Right after everything kind of hit, a few days later, I started to have some upper respiratory type symptoms, but my voice went away, like right away. And, anybody that I had been around that had this virus had none of this problem. In fact, I mean, this is the best my voice has been in 2 weeks. And there's still a little bit of rasping, not 100% perfect, but 7 or 8 days, I was at a complete whisper. I had no sound coming out of my throat. It was crazy. And it made everything so difficult. And it also brought me to a place of having to reflect more and kind of, what am I supposed to be doing with this opportunity of not having a voice, and it's hard. I mean, I'm a talker. I'm expressive, and I like to get into it, and I'm still not back to that. Like, it's starting to go a little bit now. I haven't been talking very much, but the more I talk, the more it starts to go. And that brought up a lot of emotional stuff for me too. And so it was that, none of that was planned, of course. And then that made me in an emotional space of needing and wanting comfort. And, one of the comforts that I have is sweet things. And it's just, how I've been my whole life. And, considering all of that, I think I did really pretty spectacular because I really kind of needed some comfort, and I did not, dive into it like I could have, that's for sure. So there were a couple of times where I knew, like, one of my, talking about things that we kind of have trouble with. For me, it's cinnamon rolls. If I'm around any kind of a good cinnamon roll, man, I just can't, especially if I have coffee or something. Like, sometimes I'm just like, forget it. I am absolutely planning on having some of that cinnamon roll, Now, I have learned over the past couple of years that if I do like the whole big cinnamon roll, I'm sick. Like, I don't want to get sick. So this time I just had, tastes of it. I think most I had was like maybe half a one at a time. And, overall, I probably did eat a whole one, but not all at once. And so that's what I'm learning about myself, is what can I handle? And it does make a difference how much we do. So if you're going to, go off, and whether it's planned or unplanned, just keeping in the back of my mind that the amount does matter. And, if I can get by with a taste, or even a small amount that I like spread over a longer period of time, then I can handle that better, you know? And I just always remind myself that, you know, once it's done, like I pay attention to this when I do have something. Okay, a few minutes later, especially after drinking something or whatever, that taste is gone. You know, it's gone.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, if I had 10 bites or I had 2 bites, I'm in the same boat 10 minutes later. So, you know, if I can be aware of that and stop it after the 2 or 3 bites instead of the 10 or 20, then I actually feel a lot better. And you know, that feeling is what I'm going for, because it's that it's really a damage that we're doing, and we can recover from it, but there is still a cost involved with it, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And you know, you have, sorry, Hugo, you have these people, like you have that controversial out there about people quitting carnivore and stuff like that. And you know, I'm just not a big fan of you know, like influencers ganging up on influencers within the same, you know, realm and stuff. I just don't think that's cool. And I thought about this for a long time, and tying into this, I don't think people are quitting carnivore. They're just having those temptations, doing them, and don't know how to bring this forward, how to be honest without guilt, how to talk about it without guilt, how to talk about it without being ganged up, and how to say, you know what, guys, yeah, you know what, I went off the rails. This is what I experienced. I'm on my way back. But yeah, I didn't feel so bad or whatever. How do we talk about this? And that's one of the things I was hoping to bring out here is like, just talk about it. You know, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to talk about it. Go ahead, Hugo.
The elephant in the room is, you know, shame. That's why they don't talk about it. That's why it's not
absolutely, 100%.
And it's understandable.
But we're human.
Yeah.
It's like, just, you know, like people are going to tie in and relate more to honesty than they are to try and cover shit up, right?
And there might be the case where they're not even honest with themselves, right? That
exactly.
can happen a lot of times. If they're feeling that shame, they might internalize it. They might not even acknowledge it at some point and just say, carnivore failed me. But, you know, that's not the case.
That's not the case.
It might have been some little thing in their diet that they were missing or doing. Or maybe, you know, they weren't at that stage, you know, who knows? You know, that's why you have to, if you have those problems, you have to investigate, you have to find what's causing them and deal with them. You know, they probably aren't going away by themselves. And even if they are, it's better to be aware of that process, you know. You know, for example, I had issues with circadian drift, and that was affecting my digestion. It's not because carnivore is to blame, but it's the circadian rhythm. It's off balance, right? And you know, it doesn't need to be circadian rhythm. It can be stress. It can be lack of exercise. You know, I actually have taken a pause from X3 because I can't do X3 when I'm not aligned circadian wise.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's why I had to skip it, because it's just extra stress to my body if I do X3. So it's all those things. And if you're feeling stressed, you know, just going on a long, jog might not be the best idea too. You know, in some ways it's good. You know, you're getting outside, getting fresh air, nature. But if you're doing it for long stretches, maybe you're stressing your body in another way. So maybe there's better ways to do it. You know, just a walk outside. You know, you don't have to always do a long jog or something. But, you know, cardio isn't the best thing always, and you know, it's just finding what works.
And it's that 1%, you know, just give it. And that's what our podcast, that's why we're bringing this podcast to you, is because it's not, diet is not enough. It's everything that in our lives, you know, like that's the whole wellness thing. It's all about nutrition. It's all about wellness. It's all about like mental. It's all about physical. You know, it all comes together in our environment. Everything within our environment. And, you know, thanks for saying that, Hugo, because, you know, I do look up to you. I think it's fantastic where you were and where you are now. I have such admiration for you. And I want to thank you for saying that, because it's the truth. You know, there's just so much more. And I know you are like diehard carnivore, And man, hats off. You know, I'd love to be in your shoes and be able to do it day in and day out for the rest of my life. And but we do get sidetracked, and that's what our podcast is all about: is to bring it all together.
I think
You know,
I think I
I
have some.
go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You go.
Okay. You know, I've been thinking about this addiction side and why people fall off the wagon and why they do those things. Because, I mean, I wouldn't say I was that much affected by it as other people, you know, many years ago. But I went through that process, and it took me a long time to form my thoughts around it and all my viewpoints and, you know, what I accept and what I don't. So I basically have formulated 3 layers. It's basically rules, values, and identity. So, you know, rules are easily changeable, right? Those are just what you wouldn't do or what would you do in a situation. So I guess, you know, when you're allowing yourself to have that sweet or, you know, that non-carnivore food, just going against what you value, right? That might be rule breakage. It's not actually, like, it's not, if it's carved into deeper levels, then it wouldn't necessarily break. If it's at your identity level, breaking it would mean breaking your identity, right? You know, you wouldn't be you if you did that. So it depends where your values or where your viewpoints are integrated, I find. So in what layer? And I think once you get that in place, then at least I know in my example, it's carved into my identity. It's not necessarily carnivore, right? It's anything that's the healthiest for me. Yeah. So if there's a thing that might improve my health, you know, like a supplement, who knows? Like, I might consider it, and you know, taking it wouldn't mean that I'm going against my beliefs that carnivore is actually good. You know, it's working. No, it's just it's an additional thing, right? And you know, Cerule is an example of that. I might actually try the carnivore version of Cerule just to give it a go. And you know, I'm not, you know, going against carnivore when I do that, or you know, even if you know, like someone starts adding plant foods, like that's fine. You know, if you can tolerate it and you're happy with it, that's completely okay.
Sure.
But I think it's mindset, and you know, even values are the second layer, right? Values can, you know, they can fatigue over time. Like you might just get tired of doing, you know, just trying to force yourself to do something, you know, ignore some cravings, or you know, it can be it can be fatiguing if you have to constantly force yourself, you know, instead of you just, you know, just being there without friction. You don't have those thoughts, you know, it's all effortless, you know. That's more when it's, at least for me, it's more like an identity, you know. I don't have to think about it, so it's automatic. So yeah, just what I'm contextualizing, right? I haven't, you know, formalized it, but I'm just thinking this layer, 3 layers, makes sense. It explains a lot of things.
Sure. I wonder, so with you, that is so interesting. And I mean, I love that stuff. I mean, I'll read that all day long. I wonder if we can put together, I think we can put together a PDF on the rules, values, and identities that we can offer our followers so that they can go through it and identify each. Because that's so important, what you're just saying. It's so true. You know, and when you're aware, then you can make the changes. So stay tuned, followers. Stay tuned.
And you know, even if you're breaking those, you know, it's that's why I said, you know, in the Soaring Christmas, that it's a mindset thing. Yeah. So what, you had shortbread cookies, Kim, or you know, Cindy, you had
They were bloody good.
You never.
Well, I think that's part of it, right? Is if you're going to do it, allow yourself to fully get the experience to enjoy. And if we can
that's
throw,
the point, right?
throw the shame out, like forget it. Like if you're going to have it, man, and really enjoy it, and keep it at a level that isn't going to make you sick, of course, or get awareness out of it.
Matters.
That's right. That's what I always look at is what I'm going to do. Am I getting awareness on many levels? Am I enjoying it? And am I giving myself permission so that I can have this full experience? It's okay.
Yeah. And yeah. Go
Quality
ahead.
matters too.
Sure.
If you're going off, just make sure it's
You may as well make it something that's bloody amazing,
not
right?
seed oils. Like, I
Right.
never recommend
True.
Not
that.
like a bag of chips or something like that. Come on, let's get real here, right? Yeah.
Just have something good. Yeah.
Yeah. Ash,
I agree.
you come on, chime in here, girl.
I'm just letting all of you have a go at it. Mine, I follow a carnivore way of life, so I followed a bit differently. So like when I was away, I still took my kefir grains with me, so I was still doing everything to my carnivore way of life that fits me. I don't believe I fell off the wagon, because I didn't. I ate carnivore, but I also made choices to include a few things when we were out. And was it intentional? Yes. Was it planned? Yes. It wasn't. It just happened. I chose the things that I decided to try or test. Where we were, they make the most amazing ice cream. So all the little shops around the town. So yeah, I had one or two. I didn't go mad, but I did. Did it upset my tummy the next day? A little bit, not as bad as the first time round. But yeah, mine was with full intention, but because of everything that I had gone through December, it wasn't an excuse. It was just like, well, I'm just going to enjoy my holiday with my family. It was the first one we've been on proper long holiday with, just having fun. Yes, I did work while I was there, but it was the fun type of work where you get to do content and stuff. So yes, I did enjoy it, and I thoroughly enjoyed the little bits of treats and everything that were non-carnivore. Did I feel guilty? No, I didn't.
No, you feel good. And Ash, this is something that you said to me that really resonated with me, and I changed my whole thought process around it, is you say carnivore way of life. Can you explain that? Why you call it carnivore way of life? Because I think that's important. Go ahead.
I don't do labels. I believe when you do a label, you're boxing yourself in. And then you identify that with that. So when you say, I am a carnivore, it then becomes part of, as Hugo was saying, as part of an identity. Your body starts feeling that way as well. So then when you do fall off, because that's what I felt. In the beginning, I was saying, I am carnivore. It's the same as when you say, I am sick. Instead of saying, I am healing, when somebody says, how you doing? I'm sick. I'm healing. So it's just a change of words. Because when I did, as I said to you, I did carnivore strictly by the book for 18 months. I was the carnivore police, if you wanted to say. Like, that's my family hate me. They didn't want to be around me. And I realized that something had to change. And so when I did fall off the wagon, when I made that choice at 1st December to include things, it was then I started beating myself up. I had the guilt. I had all these things because, I had allowed myself to have a few things. Whereas now, if I change that to I'm following a carnivore way of life, it doesn't have to be so dogmatic. I do it the best to my ability. It doesn't define who I am, because I'm more than just what I eat. I'm made up of so many more things. So yeah, I don't like to say I'm this, because it's just boxing yourself in. That's what I believe.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sorry, Hugo. That's what got me off the shame, was learning that from you. I thought that was so true, so true. Anyways, go ahead, Hugo. Sorry.
In that case, Ash, isn't it still part of your identity? But it's just reshifted, right?
Yeah.
That's how I see it. It's not that you're that label, but you're a person who tries to get the best health they can in the situation they are, and just experience life too. Enjoy
But it
it.
also leaves room for movement because, when you go carnivore, everybody just thinks you eat that, and that. Where I have, I have adapted it to. I like what Sean O'Mara says about living carnivore because I do include fermented foods, in the form of I still stick to the carnivore way of doing it. I still stick to, my milk kefir. I do fermented butter. I've been doing fermented cream cheese from kefir cheese. I've just been doing all of those things where I'm still having that stuff, but I'm including it in a different way. But it's with everything. It's just that with all these boxes that people like to put themselves in. I don't like to do that.
Yeah, I think that's where the friction or the conflicts come in. If you're boxed in, instead of thinking that yes, I'm carnivore, but to be honest, my core identity is not carnivore. It's a person who tries to get the best health they can, in all regards. It's carnivore is just what I found, but doesn't mean that I won't ever eat plants. I'm not going to eat omnivore, of course.
No, not you, Hugo. Come on.
It's everything though. It's like when you go out there in the world, it's like I'm vegetarian. I'm this. It's just not even food related. It's just when you get to people who I am stupid. No, you're not. I have to constantly say to the kids because it's stop boxing yourself in. Look at different ways of wording it where you're not identifying as that. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like when one of the thinking about all that, it's so important because like when I first started, oh my God, I don't even think I would want to be around myself either. Because when I met people, guess what? One of the first things I said, I'm carnivore. And I just started preaching carnivore. Everything was carnivore. It's like, and then if somebody come back and say, and I'd say, well, you're wrong, and literally I was carnivore police. And it got to a point where it was like, people were avoiding me. And I was like, I started hearing what I was saying because I became more aware. And even, and Ashley, when you said that carnivore way of life, it changed a lot in me. And it's like, I'm not carnivore. I live a carnivore way of life, but I am so much more too. Like when you take into account everything that I've learned throughout my life, I am way more than a piece of friggin' steak. You know what I'm saying? And that made a huge difference too. And that's why I asked you, because I think that's very valuable. That's why people need to know that. Is that, like carnivore police, they freaking irritate me now. I mean, I get the hair on the back of my neck goes up because it's like, you know what? You aren't born again, my friend. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I like to say that, I strive towards carnivore eating or strive because I know I feel better. And I don't have, the gut problems and just so many things, the inflammation, all of that. But it's just what I'm striving for.
Yeah.
Feeling
Carnivore
it through.
wannabe.
And I think also knowing that...
but you do well, Cindy. You do very well. For the lifestyle you have, I think you do very well. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Me too.
I think if your baseline is hyper carnivore, 70% animal products and meat, that's probably good anyway. Because
Yeah.
at least biologically, like the things I know, I believe that humans used to eat 80 to 85% meat and animal products, all of that.
Yeah.
And so that's our baseline. That means that you could maybe incorporate plants too and be fine with them and be extremely healthy. But it's just that it depends what plants you integrate, how much, and and how
and what
with them. So
yeah, exactly. And it's like, that's what this is, that awareness, right? Is, I mean, even if you were to start at Whole Foods, that's okay. because now you're aware, like I put up on our Instagram, I put up the label of those crackers and all the crap that's in there versus a steak. And it wasn't the steak, eat the steak is what I was getting at. It was just like, be aware of what you're putting into your body. And when you identify part of that as your life, and you're sitting there like, do I really want this Miss Vicky salt and vinegar chip in my body that's got, 38 different ingredients in it, yet they call it a potato chip? Or,
sometimes yes.
right? Or do I just want the potato? And it's like that's what all this is about. Is just be aware of what you're putting into your body, because it's killing you. It is killing you
And
prematurely.
take agency.
Period. Yeah.
Take agency.
think if I had
Don't
to-
let. Yeah.
Sorry, no, Kara.
Go ahead, Ash.
Yeah. Go.
I was going to say, I think if I had to start including vegetables and fruit again, it would definitely be fermented ones. Doing back to the sauerkrauts and all that sort of stuff again. I haven't ventured into that. Yeah, like I said, I still keep my fermented stuff very carnivore based with the cheeses and all that sort of stuff. But if I had to, it would be the fermented fruit and vegetables, because you can ferment anything, and that's where I'd want to get, because I'm very conscious of my health. I want to get that living stuff into me as well, where that bacteria and all that sort of stuff, because we don't have that. So I've had a big focus on my gut microbiome as well. I've been listening to a lot of Sean O'Mara and following a lot of what he's doing at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. Living food, like that was another thing you taught me. That was, it was like that light bulb went off. Boom, because everything we put in our body is dead food, dead.
Well,
and then it's like, well, why are we? What's that?
Technically, it has
true.
bacteria, microorganisms,
Well-
and a lot of them.
Well, yeah.
Where you source
it's
it
not.
from.
It's not like it's sterilized. Like.
No.
Maybe some meats. I don't even know how they can manage that, because it's on the surface, right? They have to syringe some chemicals inside the meat to purge all the microorganisms.
Especially chickens.
Yeah.
They do it all the time.
I get what you mean. You mean specifically fermented, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that, Hugo. I always rely on you for that.
Of course it's dead.
Well, I mean,
Should it
that's
be
the
living?
way, that's the way I understood it. It's like, listen, back in the day when we were doing our own gardens and there wasn't glyphosate and all that other kind of crap in there, and we would go and we'd pull a carrot out of the ground and we'd eat it with the dirt on and stuff like that. There's probably a little bit of living organisms there going into our body, but you don't get that now, because we go to the grocery store and we pick up friggin' these baby carrots that aren't even baby carrots, and they have friggin' Javex in them to preserve them.
And they look identical.
So big difference between the two, right? So when I say dead food, I literally am saying dead food, because I'm pretty sure a lot of it is, even when we buy our meat from the grocery store, seriously, it's not a grass-fed, grass-finished beef that comes right off the farm. There's a huge difference between the two, and we know that for a fact. And especially what they're eating. Yeah.
Pesticide-laden food, right?
Yeah. Anyways, the big part of all this that we're talking about is, you don't owe anyone an explanation for your health choices. You owe yourself, period. So whatever you choose to do, just become aware of what you're doing. And that's what, part of this is about, is becoming aware. How's your body feel? How do you feel? When you go and eat a whole big bowl of ice cream, I scream at myself if I do that. And I'll say, remember how this feels. This feels horrible. My joints are aching. I yell at myself. It's why am I doing this? And it's just, I'm aware of it now. And that's all we're saying is awareness is everything. So, on that note, moving forward, how do we move forward without guilt? And that's, we don't, how does getting back on track look now for each of us? Personally, myself, I crave the meat, I crave the fat, And if I do go off the rails, I mean, the first thing that comes to my head is like, oh, I want my pork belly, or I want my chicken wings, or and I still is like, I want a great big huge ribeye, and I'll try the great big huge ribeye, and it doesn't always go that well because I'm a little bit off beef right now, but I crave it. I still crave it. So how do we move forward from here? We'll start with you, Ash.
Well, I don't know how everyone else moves forward, but
I'm just trying to keep you awake, girlfriend.
it's around top of 12 now. It's getting a bit tiring.
I know.
This time around, I gave myself a few days to have things, okay, like the selected things that I'd chosen occasionally. Some days I didn't have them, so it wasn't the case, but I just gave myself back, like 1st of January, I was back on it. It was just getting back straight away, getting onto it. It was making sure that I was including the fermented foods and all that sort of stuff as well. But it was just, it's a month, like Hugh said, it's a mindset thing, and it was just, for me, it's being kind to myself. My favorite word, just being kind, that I did allow it, and if I do have it slip ups, but again, for me, mine were intentional. So I think getting back, when it's an intentional choice, it is easier to go, okay, tomorrow I am not doing that again. I am a person who just goes all in or nothing. So I can go cold turkey. I can just say, all right, tomorrow I'm not having this, bomb, and I do it. So that's what it looks like for me. It's just that kindness. I'll go back to that. Just stop beating yourself up. Just tomorrow's another day. Get back on. Try it again. Just keep getting back on there if that's something that you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. That's great.
Beating yourself up.
Yeah. Exactly. Cindy.
Yeah, I think for me, I want to focus more also on just self-love. Like, I think that's a big part of this whole thing, is why are we doing it? And I think for me in the past, when I wouldn't stick to something, it was more related, like there was an underlying theme to that, not caring for myself enough for whatever reason. But it took me a lot of years to work through that. And I see it a lot in people. It's almost like a, self-defeating type of a thing. And so that's what I'm trying to focus more on. It's like, what, in the name of love, right? What is the best way to move forward for myself? And then what goes along with that is learning and having awareness of what practices are going to be loving to my body, because I really don't answer to anyone else except to myself in this regard. Right. I'm living in this temple, if you will, right? And this what we're here in, right? And so we all have a choice of how we're going to maintain it. And sometimes we don't maintain it so well because we're not even aware that what we're doing isn't the best thing. And yeah, that's how I'm going forward with it. And yeah, I have planned some sardine challenges in my very near future. I'm putting a CGM on tomorrow, and I'm going to learn more about what's going on inside my body so that I can make those choices.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Cindy, like you and Ashley, and especially you, what you do for a living, and who you are, you definitely have, like, in our realm of wellness, I think you've got quite a few parts of that down pat. I mean,
I'm trying. Thank you.
Well, you do, and the one thing that you're working on right now, of course, is just tightening up the nutritional part of it. So, like, I've learned a lot from you too, and it's like, how many times have I come to you and I'm like, I'm blowing a stack and I'm frustrated about this, and I'm like, blah 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 blah, and you just hold me right back in again, and mental wellness is such a huge part of this too, and I think you've got a lot of it all wrapped up. I think the only thing is your nutrition, and you work on it every day. You do.
Yeah.
Because you'll text me and I know you do, and so
it's always here.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what Hugo says, all mindset. What about you, bud?
And it's a process, you don't have to, it doesn't mean you have to get to the right state in just one day, it takes time, it's fine. It took me a long time, many years. This was just a build-up, and then that switch became easier. But in my situation, I have to definitely have to focus on my circadian more. It's just not letting go off the rails. Like in some cases, it is not a bad idea. When I really am doing important work, those late nights can be good, but it should be more like an exception than a norm. Because if that becomes the norm, then everything falls apart at some point.
Yeah, true enough.
But Carnivore is working amazingly. Like even if my circadian is messed up, I still feel better than I ever did. So it's not like I feel horrible. It's just once you see the difference, right? Like if you're at that higher level and you fall down, you just notice it better. And when my circadian is drifting, I can notice the difference. That's why. And it's not that Carnivore didn't work. It's just that I let down some other parts of my lifestyle. And if I get back up, I will be even better, right? So I think a lot of people don't know what they're missing out on. They wouldn't probably notice circadian stuff anyway. But I've become more sensitive to it because of Carnivore. And, with that sensitivity also comes, new capacity. I can do more than I ever did because of it. So, I'm thankful. I'm not at all whining about it. So, I am fine with it being sensitive, and strict. I have to go at certain times. That's fine. Like, for me, it's like 10, 11 p.m., maybe 12, but probably 10 to 11 is better. And that's where I can feel at my peak. I can perform at my peak, and everything goes smoothly then, including digestion. And it is not obvious, like circadian doesn't, I struggled with it months ago, and I couldn't exactly pinpoint what was the cause. But once I dug deep, started thinking about it, and started experimenting, that's when it worked. So, whatever issue you have, it's worth looking at the entire picture, even if it's not something you expect. It's not obvious. It might be the issue, like stress. I think a lot of people have stress, and
absolutely
that can be a source of a lot of issues. And if that functions even similar to what I'm experiencing with circadian, I can, I've experienced stress too. I know how it impacts me, and it can be rough. But I haven't gone through that kind of stress lately. So
So we're going to be closing out here pretty soon. I just have. Can I do one thing I want to do myself? Is I've been back on track for a while. I'm doing a sardine fast because if anybody really wants to feel the brain fog gone, you want to feel energy like you've never felt before, do a 3-day or a 3-day sardine fast. You will feel amazing. And I've done it a couple times, and I feel even different doing a sardine fast than I do when I do strict carnivore. And let's be honest, sardines, one of the best foods on this planet. So rapid fire before we close out. And I'll start with you, Cindy. One small action listeners could take today to move forward.
Make a decision. Yeah, just choose, decide. I mean, I sometimes think that's the hardest part. And how do you choose? You figure out your why. And for me, it's about how do we want to be down the road? And one of my taglines for Essential Therapies is you are creating tomorrow's body today. What does that mean?
Oh, that's good.
How do you want to feel tomorrow? And tomorrow can be literally tomorrow, or it can be 5 years from now or 20 years from now. And I see a lot of people who wish they had known what I know now, and they're 70 or 60 or 80, you know, and they did not take care of themselves when they were 30, 40, 50, you know, and it's right now is what you're creating down the road, and that's where we have to make the choice.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Ashley?
Thanks.
I would say you're not in competition with anybody else. You're only in competition with yourself. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Shut up that noise. Just strive to be the best person you can be on that day. And each day, just keep building on that. The only person you are competing against is yourself.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like that one.
Hugo?
Yeah. I mean, I'm already doing it. I'm fixing my circadian.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem right now.
Yeah.
You know, motivation work side, I don't have issues. It's all in place. It's working out. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I you know, there's so many that I can say. I mean, you guys, it's beautiful what you guys just covered. I mean, just put one foot in front of the other. And, you know, if you stumble a bit, just keep going. And sometimes your step might not be a huge step. It might be a little step, but that's okay. Because if you want, like, I always say, every single day I want to be a better version of myself. And like Cindy says, what does that look like? You know? And then get back to your why. Like, start at your why. And a lot of people don't do what I, you know, talk about a lot is do the journey within. You know, go within yourself. That's the hardest thing you're ever going to do in your life, but it's the biggest reward you'll ever receive. Is just go within. Take a look at yourself and be honest, because nobody knows you more than you know you. And when you start taking that journey, and it's that's what it's all about, is moving forward. And if you, and not just in food related, in wellness, period. And if you fall off, just get back on and do it again. You know, like most people, like Bruce Lee, he didn't become one of the best in martial arts. He failed many, many, many times. You know, Walt Disney, same guy. I mean, the rejections that man had, and look at Walt Disney now, you know, so just keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep moving forward. If you go back 2 steps, that's okay. Take another step forward. That's all I've got to say about that. And, you know, for people that are feeling discouraged right now and stuff like that, you know, if you want to reach out. You know, like, send us a comment or whatever. And you know what? We're here for you too. We'll always be here for you too. Because without you, we aren't here. So, you know, it's about community and supporting each other. So, yeah, please reach out. We'd love to hear from you. What you're struggling with, what you're not. If you have any advice or anything like that, we all want to learn. And we all want to teach, because we all have something to say. All of us. So with that, because Ashley is very, very late for her, we don't want her falling asleep on our podcast here. We'll close it out. And I want to say I'm grateful for each and every one of you. And one of my favorite things is learning. And I find myself, and Ash and I talk about this, I'm coachable. And I'm very proud of that. And I just keep learning. I keep learning all the time. So I am so grateful for each and every one of you. I want to say Happy New Year to you all. And closing comments. Go ahead, Cindy.
That's it, man. I think that 2026 is going to be better. It's a good one. Have fun in life, you know? If everything is so like, I haven't had a lot of fun the last few years, and this year is going to be a year of fun. I think whatever we're choosing, we got to make some fun in there.
Starting with your cruise in a week.
That's right.
Ash, closing comments? Yeah, what all of you said. Just take care of yourself. Put yourself first. Make sure you're, that for everything. I'm going on a women's retreat. I've booked myself in. So, yeah, my year too. It's all about me.
Beautiful.
Hey.
Hugo?
Yeah.
We are circadian.
No. Well, this year is going to be big for me. This will be extraordinary year. I know
it is.
It's already building my own business and all of that. It's just skyrocketing that. So this is I don't mean it's just special for me. It's probably, you know, a lot of events have happened in the world and a lot of stuff. So, and a lot of them are good too. So I think we're heading in the right direction when it comes to health and wellness. So hoping
Yeah,
that
like the new
continues.
pyramid.
Yeah, exactly. That beautiful pyramid toppled that ugly one. Much nicer. And you know, Carnivore is represented in there. If you look, like the triangle
Sure is.
on the upper left side. Yeah, golden triangle. It's called. So we are represented.
It's
so
low carb is okay. It's okay, people. You know.
yeah, it's basically
And,
the top part is low carb-ish. You know, there's some carbs in there, but you take them
Still.
out. Low carb.
Yeah.
It's low
Yeah.
carb. Yeah. So it's pretty amazing.
All right, I'm the same. I agree with every single one of you, and you know, like I said, this is our time that we get to socialize the most, and I certainly value it. So, with that said, have a good sleep, Ash. The rest of your evening there, Hugo and Cindy and I think we have our day already planned to get ready to go for. So
Day
I'm
ahead.
just gonna start with the cold plunge.
That's right.
Yeah, right on. Okay.
It'll be in there.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.